What's up YouTube, John here. I bought an iPhone XS a few days ago. Now I've been using it, it's like the only phone I use now. I upgraded to the iPhone XS from the 6S just to give you guys some context. And I have some feedback for you about the XS in case you're considering buying it or you're wondering if it's like, is it too big? Is it just right for me? Stuff like that. So I'll go ahead and get to the point. I have some notes here just to hopefully help me not miss anything. So, first thing I want to mention to you about the iPhone XS, and again, this is coming from me as somebody who upgraded from the iPhone 6S. It's a heavy phone. Now I know, and yes, I'm talking about the XS, not talking about the XS Max. When you like hold it in the store, you might notice it's heavy. You might not really be focused on that because it's a new, the new shiny thing. So you might be too focused on the specs, or not specs, like on the look and feel and design and the aesthetics basically. But after having used it for a few days now, I can tell you it's a heavy phone. And I'm one of those people who likes to hold the phone with one hand usually. If I can text with one hand, I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Stuff like that. So that's one thing. You kind of feel the weight after a while, or you kind of notice it more as time goes by. So it's a heavy phone. Like, I don't know what you'd be doing if you buy the XS Max, which would be heavier, of course, but it's not light. So of course, I mean, the XS Max is heavier, but it's also a XS Max. It's also got a bigger screen and whatever more perks it has. I think it's also got a better battery. Perhaps, don't quote me on it, but I think those are like the two good things about the XS Max, right? Screen and battery. So it's a beautiful display. Both are beautiful displays. But the XS, for me at least, is a heavy phone, especially if you're upgrading from something smaller. Maybe if you're upgrading from like an 8 Plus or something, you wouldn't feel too much weight difference. I don't know the numbers, but just saying. So expect it to be a bit heavy for you. It's also obviously bigger than the 6S, which is a plus as far as as the display is concerned. And of course, it's OLED. The 6S isn't. Of course, that's also a nicer display. The camera is beautiful, so those are like really good things. I love the design, I love the finish. The XS I have is it's 264 gigabytes of storage, and it's a space gray finish. Actually, I made an unboxing video. It's in this same playlist, so please go ahead and watch that and have a look at it. I do notice something that happens sometimes with the earpods. So here's the deal. The earpods work most of the time, but sometimes I plug in the earpods, and as you know, on the iPhone XS, you plug it in with a lightning connector. It's not like a headphone jack like older phones. Sometimes I plug it in. Like one time I was speaking to somebody, and he said that he couldn't hear me too well, that my voice sounded like too low or something. And I looked at the phone, and my lightning connector was plugged in, and it seems that for some reason he was hearing me through the speaker, and the lightning connector didn't connect my earpods properly to the phone, although it was fully plugged in. So that's happened to me before, and I just wanted to mention that. So of course I have no other option other than buying the AirPods. I don't have that, and I have no headphone jack, so I don't have the option of using any older earpods. So the lightning connector on the earpods causes them to, basically, it doesn't always work. Have you had that problem? If you had, let me know down in the comments just to maybe kind of get a feel of how many people have had this issue. Face ID, that's another thing. Face ID is kind of confusing to me a bit, and I'll tell you why. Sometimes it works really well. Like, I can be in bed and my face isn't like perfectly aligned in front of the screen, and I kind of look at the screen, and I kind of like I'm lying down, right? So I kind of look at it at some angle, and it unlocks. It works. I had heard that it shouldn't really work if your face isn't aligned with it, but it works, and that's beautiful. So that's an awesome thing. Sometimes it won't really. It's like it's not recognizing you. It's like it's not waking up. Sometimes I look at the phone, and it stays, and you can see the little lock up top, right? It stays locked, and I'm looking at it, waiting for it to kind of wake up, recognize me. It takes a bit, and then it unlocks. So Face ID has been a bit confusing to me, because it's been like is it great and it works more than I expected it to, which is the case in some situations, or is it like not functioning properly all the time, which also has seemed to be the case. Like it takes a while to kind of recognize me, like I said. So that's that. Like all in all, Face ID works well. If I'm talking about the way it normally works, it normally, like the usual, it normally works fine. And the thing about it is, though, it's I feel it's a bit slow. Like for my taste at least, or for my expectation, I would have liked it to be a bit faster than it is. It does seem like it kind of takes a bit of time, basically. But all in all, like the overall evaluation of Face ID is good. It's good. There is one thing though. About Face ID, actually, let me finish that first. When you try and pay with Apple Pay using Face ID, before I bought the phone, I thought that all you had to do was basically, just hold it in front of the card, the swiper inserter in thing. You just hold it and you look at it like the phone, and it pays. That's what I thought happened. Apparently that's not the case. So when I tried paying for the first time, the phone prompted me to double click the power button, like the on off button. So I double clicked it, and then the Face ID thing, you could see the logo, like the little animation they have for Face ID, it kind of started, and the phone paid. So as far as that's concerned, I didn't think I'd need to double click anything. I just thought I'd look at it and it pays, right? So that's something. Now I guess that's kind of like a double authentication thing, so maybe it's done intentionally that way. Well, I mean, I guess it's obviously done intentionally, but maybe it's done that way for security reasons, so you don't like pay by accident for something when you're not planning to pay, just because you're looking at your phone. That kind of makes sense, but I mean, if I'm gonna be using my hands anyway, because even with Face ID, I'm double clicking the power button and then the thing reads my face and then it pays. So if I'm using my hand anyway to click something, then what's the point in a way? Because I was kind of already doing that with the home button. Actually, the home button, I wasn't even clicking. I was just like scanning my finger, or like my thumb most of the time at least. Sometimes maybe I'd click it to kind of make my phone wake up or something, because it was kind of an older phone. But like on the 6S, I think if things functioned normally, all you needed to do was just scan your finger or your thumb or something. On the Face ID thing with iPhone XS, I'll just talk about mine, you double click the power button. So what gives? Why? What's the point then? But still, Face ID, you do use it for other things, not just for Apple Pay. So all in all, it's okay. It's not the end of the world, but it's just something that I noticed. Now, that's for the Face ID part as far as paying. When it comes to unlocking the phone, I also noticed something else. So Face ID, to unlock the phone, all you need to do is just look at the screen, and it unlocks. But after you do that, it doesn't go straight to the home screen. So you still have to reach down to the area where the home button kind of used to be, and it's got this little bar, this little line at the bottom. You still have to reach down and touch it and swipe up. So if I'm reaching down and touching it and swiping up, well, when I used to unlock my iPhone 6S, I used to reach down to touch the home button and scan my fingerprint and unlock. So, like, I'm still doing a similar action. I reach down to swipe, as opposed to reaching down to scan my thumb and unlock. I do it with my thumb. And actually, and you may have noticed that I'm rubbing this area here, because that kind of hurts me. Maybe I have like a wrist issue or something, but I have this little pain going on here. So doing this is kind of irritating or painful to me in a way. I didn't want to do that. And now I have an iPhone XS with Face ID, and I'm still needing to do that. One thing I heard about that is, or one justification for needing to swipe up after unlocking your phone with Face ID is that you have messages that pop up on your lock screen, and there's this like secure thing where it doesn't really display the content of the message. and it doesn't display the content of the notification if it's like a news thing or anything, any notification you get. So after you unlock with Face ID, it shows you the contents of those notifications or of those messages still on that screen. So one argument is, if Face ID unlocked the phone and went straight to the home screen, you wouldn't be able to see what's actually in the notifications, that you wouldn't be able to see the detail that appears in those notifications that are on that very first screen if Face ID took you straight to the home screen. Does that make sense? So that's one argument for it, but I mean, still I'm having to, after using Face ID, reach down and swipe up. I didn't want, I just guess I didn't want to do that. I mean, I wanted things to be smoother with, as part of the package that is the Face ID experience. So I think that's pretty much for Face ID. Now, as for Force Touch, now, again, if you guys have any comments, by the way, about anything I'm saying, please let me know in the comments down below. Force Touch. I don't know if you guys have noticed this, if you have an iPhone XS or maybe even a XS Max, but you know how, like, if you're writing a message or typing something, you know how you, like, push down on the screen to turn the keyboard into a kind of trackpad, and you can kind of glide your finger or thumb on it, and that moves the cursor freely on the text. So I don't know if it's just me, but I feel that Force Touch is taking more effort to activate, like more effort is needed to activate Force Touch, basically, to turn the keyboard into a trackpad, even maybe even to animate the wallpaper, you know, the little bubble with all the colors on it. Even that, I think it needs a bit more force. The main thing, though, that I've noticed is that it needs more force on the keyboard. That's what I'm feeling. It didn't need that much force on the iPhone 6s. So is that like an indication that the screen isn't as sensitive as the iPhone 6s? I mean, obviously iPhone XS, that's like state of the art, so it's really advanced. But I just noticed that, so I thought I'd mention it. If you've noticed that too, please let me know. Another thing, and I'll just say this and take it for what it is, and this may be a matter of opinion. Now, there's a pro and con of and this is probably a pro and con to upgrading this to the same operating system or you know, phone, basically, for in general. It's the fact that you get the same iOS more or less, like the skeleton of it or the way it looks, the user interface, perhaps is the word I'm looking for, is pretty much the same. So you're getting the same thing, and I've been buying iPhones since iPhone 3GS. That was my very first iPhone. So I've been getting iPhones ever since then, and there's just something about having the same user interface and the same, or generally, or at least a similar or kind of the same experience with the software on the phone. It's kind of, there's kind of a lack of excitement, and please do not misunderstand me. I'm saying this and I'm still saying, I think iPhone is the best phone out there, and I would still buy an iPhone over and over and over again. But it's just something I thought I'd mention. It's about how I feel about it. It's a feeling of, like, it's a good thing I'm getting the same software that I like and I'm used to. And it's also, there's, I guess, not too much enthusiasm about that part of the experience because it's the same software that I know and I'm used to, which I love, but I'm also used to. Do you see what I mean here? So again, I still think it's great. I still think it's the best UI out there, but just a feeling I have. So these are the points I wanted to mention. Again, it's a beautiful phone. It's a premium device. It feels amazing. The camera is unbelievable. The camera is unbelievable. I mean, you just look at the picture and it's stunning. It's stunning. The amount of detail and clarity and cleanliness of the picture that you get with the camera on the iPhone XS is unbelievable. So that's really important to mention there. In fact, I'm filming this video with the iPhone XS. These are my impressions about the phone after a few days of using it. To summarize, I want to say, like, if you were to ask me, do I feel this was a good buy all in all? Yes, this is a beautiful buy. This is an awesome buy. For me, I would choose this specific iPhone over and over and over again as far as the 3 new iPhones that are out now are concerned. Now, for the screen size, obviously for the screen size, the ultimate experience would be the iPhone XS Max. But then again, there is more price involved in that, and also it's going to be heavier. And I'm already, like I already mentioned, the weight of the iPhone XS already gets to me in a way, iPhone XS is awesome and everything, but if I were to buy a phone again, I would buy the iPhone XS again. Nothing different. Would I consider buying another brand? Like, I've been with iPhone since I've got what I've had before is the iPhone 3GS, 4S, 5S, 6S, and now the XS. Would I ever consider getting another brand? And even though, like I told you, that I'm used to this UI and that element of excitement is missing and everything, but still I know I'm getting a really decent, stable UI, and I kind of know what to expect. So that feeling of stability and knowing what you're getting is awesome. So to answer the question, would I consider another brand? No, absolutely not. I would not consider another brand, at least for the time being. And honestly, looking at the things that are on the market and looking at how things are going, I think I'm just going to continue with iPhone. If something else changes, if something changes in the future, that's something else, but yes, I would definitely buy this all over again, and I would definitely still continue to stick with the iPhone because it is the best package all in all. So thanks for watching, guys. This was my review after a few days of ownership. I've had it for, I think I bought it on the 28th, started using it on the 29th perhaps. I waited because I basically started filming the unboxing video the following day I bought it. So I've been using it for a few days now. Today's November 1st. And that's my feedback, some pros and some cons. So all in all, I still recommend the iPhone. If the price is not an issue for you, I would totally go for the iPhone XS. If the size, if the extra size doesn't bother you and the weight doesn't bother you, iPhone XS Max. That's like the like I was saying, ultimate experience. So I hope you like this video. If you guys have any suggestions for any other videos, please let me know down in the comments. If you've experienced some of the things that I've experienced, please also mention them down in the comments. Let me know. Maybe we can start a discussion between us or between other people viewing the video. And that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. Please like this video, share it, and subscribe. Please also have a look at the other video, the unboxing video that is in this playlist. And also, go and have a look at my other videos. Hope you like them, and see you guys around.